Hey there everyone, welcome to the UkeStuff channel and welcome to this full UkeGuide review of this instrument. This is the Lekato Professional Performance Concert Ukulele 23-inch. It doesn't really have a model number specifically. I was contacted by Lekato and they asked me if I'd be willing to review one of their instruments, and of course I said yes. So for the record, this one was sent to me for review purposes. No other payment was received by me for this review, nor any expectation for any particular rating. Now, what we're going to do in this review is, first of all, we will look at some subjective categories that I look at with all ukuleles. Then we'll go over the specifications, and then I'll summarize the instrument and give it a UkeGuide rating. If you want to support the work on this channel, there are three things you can do. First of all, you can like the video. Second, you can subscribe to the channel. And third, you can always buy me a cup of coffee to say thank you for making this content at www.buymeacoffee.com/UkeStuff. I do have some other things for sale at the Buy Me a Coffee site, including my 2 books of chord melodies, one for carols, one for hymns. Those books, incidentally, are also available at the Apple Bookstore as well as for Amazon Kindle and in print from Amazon directly. All right, let's begin with the subjective categories for this instrument. First of all, cost. This is $59.99 list price, although at the moment as I'm recording this, it's right under $48. So occasionally this will be on sale. As it comes to value, this is a great value. We'll get into the sound, but it's a really good sounding instrument. The setup is really good. There are some other things to think about, though, that are connected with value, some good, some bad. So let's do that. First of all, the tuner. I used the Lekato tuner that comes with the kit today. This tuner actually has a setting for detuning. So for those Canadians in particular that use detuning on their ukulele, D6 tuning instead of C6 tuning, this tuner would be great. It's included with the package, and that's really good. Now, as for some negatives in the value, the first is the strap. The strap that is included is one of these import ukulele, sort of like clip straps that you'd almost like use with a saxophone. But here's the deal. The instrument comes with strap buttons, but not a strap that utilizes the strap buttons. So you're going to end up buying another strap to use those strap buttons. I wish that they just would have included a less expensive strap for strap buttons. The second thing is the spare strings and picks that come with it. Again, I don't know why plastic guitar picks are included with ukuleles. You think that the message would have been sent throughout the industry that generally people don't use these. Yes, there are a few people, but most people use felt or leather picks. And then the other negative is the strings. Now, this instrument has titanium strings. I don't think they're D'Addario titanium because I like them. And again, I do like some D'Addario strings, but I've never liked their titanium strings. They've always been too thick and too hard. I'm a fluorocarbon player. This sort of bridges the gap. So I think these are maybe a Chinese titanium knockoff, but they are great. This extra set of strings should be those. I would buy these strings separately from Lekato if they're for sale. I like them that much. So that's the other negative. And the other thing in terms of value is talking about the bag. The bag is fine. It's probably 10 millimeters in padding, maybe a little less. And it is padded. It doesn't have a cushion handle or cushion backpack straps. Those would be nice. It's missing a hanger, which I like to see. It doesn't have anything on the bottom where you can rest it. But for a laminate ukulele, this is pretty decent. Are there better bags? Absolutely. Will you pay for that? Probably. And the fact that the Lekato logo is embroidered in there is kind of nice too. It's classier than it needs to be for this instrument. So yeah, the gig bag is functional. And the 2 big things that you're going to need out of this kit are the gig bag and the tuner, and you get both of those with the ukulele. So the value here is excellent at this $59.99 list price or the sale price that you would get it at. Now, as it comes to build quality, I don't really have much to complain about here. The laminate is a good quality laminate that's causing a good sound. The bridge here is a slotted bridge, so you've got easy string changes. You've got decent strings on it. The build is good. The finish is an open pour, but it's well done. The Amazon page does say it's supposed to have chamfered edges, but I don't see that on the instrument. I just see straight edges. And it's not terrible. I mean, that could be sanded down a touch with like fine sandpaper, but it's a good clean build on the outside. So I have no complaints there. Let's take a look at the inside of the instrument. All right, let's go down and look at the tail block. So you can see it has a tail block. It has fan bracing on it. It does have a bridge support plate. The laminate is a good quality laminate. It's not just plywood, as like you see in some less expensive ukuleles. You can see the bracing even on the back as well. I'll get a little bit closer and you can see there's not a lot of glue mess. It's a pretty clean build. There's some glue up there on that one particular fan brace right up there, but even then it's not a huge mess, and it's clear somebody took some time to clean things up. Okay, as we look at the upper bout, you can see we've got the neck block there. You can see the notch kerfing on the sides, and you can see the serial number that is stamped on the neck block as well. It's a good standard, clean, traditional build made of decent laminate. And that's our quick look at the Lekato Professional Performance Ukulele 23-inch. So the build quality is pretty good. How about the appearance? What do I think? Well, overall, I think it's a really attractive ukulele. It's pretty plain, has only a few features that are worth pointing out. Again, you've got your slotted bridge, which will make string changes pretty easy. You've got your strap buttons. You've got an attractive mahogany laminate made out of a quality laminate. And then you have a different shaped headstock, which is nice because a lot of times you'll see the Martin crown or sort of the copy of the Canalea, but this is a different headstock and it's nice to see. So I do like that. So the appearance overall is kind of traditional, kind of plain. And then the other thing, of course, is the rosette, which is, you know, a pretty clean design. It's not offensive in any way, and it works with the rest of the ukulele. Now, in terms of availability, if you want one of these, you can order from Amazon right now. You can just go to Amazon, look up Lekato, and look up the 23-inch in this particular mahogany. In terms of playability, this instrument is really good. It does have a standard 35mm nut with a C-shaped neck, but because the action is nice and low, and it's not buzzing on any string, but because that action is nice and low, this neck doesn't feel as thick as it could. So that's really impressive. I still would like to see so many of these C-shaped necks come thinner, more of a D shape than a C shape, but even so, this is pretty good. So I'll take that. That's very playable, very comfortable for me to play, even with the titanium strings. And again, that surprises me because I'm not usually a fan of titanium, but these I like. And I don't think they're D'Addario. I think they're another company's, and I like them and they should be sold separately. Now, in terms of sound, the sound quality here is rather good. It's at least rather good to me. I generally like brighter tone ukuleles or balanced with a bright edge. And it has lots of sustain and lots of overtones sounding as well. It's a clean, crisp, balanced sound. Definitely on the louder edge, but it really doesn't get super loud. So it's not a super loud ukulele. It's just an ukulele with a good loud voice where you will hear it in a group if you're playing in a group. And while there is a touch of laminate darkness, it's really a balanced sound. And what I'm looking forward to doing here is opening up Tonal Energy Tuner, which is a way for me to show you what I'm hearing by playing an open chord or a C chord into my iPad and letting you see what's happening with the Harmonic Energy series. Here we go. Sometimes I'm surprised by Tonal Energy Tuner. That is showing me that the instrument has a lot of strength on that low end, which would be typical of a laminate, but I'm hearing so much more high end in person. I'm not sure if that's coming across in the recording or not. I'm hearing a much more balanced sound than Tonal Energy Tuner is picking up. Sometimes that happens. I really like the sound of this one. It's a nice laminate sound. All right, now that we've gone through all the subjective categories, let's go through the specifications. It is a concert ukulele with a scale length just shorter than 15 inches, so it's 14.9375 inches from nut to saddle. Has 18 frets with 14 to the body, and it does have side position markers. The body style is a traditional double bout, and the soundboard back and sides are all made of laminate mahogany, and it's a good quality laminate. The fretboard is made of rosewood and is dry at this current time. The bridge is a slotted bridge, and it is also made of rosewood, but it is in much less dry condition. The fretboard is not radius. The nut and saddle are supposed to be bone. They look a little bit more on the plastic side, but they are supposed to be bone. The saddle is not compensated, and the finish is a satin open pore, so you can actually see in the light there, you can see that it's not a smooth gloss or a smooth satin. There's open pore qualities to it. The length of the instrument from the top of this extended headstock to the bottom of the instrument, not counting the strap buttons, is 23.75 inches, and it weighs 1 pound, 1.1 ounces, and it's balanced pretty well. The tuners are close-geared tuners. I do not know if they're branded or not because I have not picked away the white sort of protective cover there. The action at the first fret is 0.55 millimeters, so just about perfect, and the action at the 12th fret is 2.39 millimeters, so nice and low. The action here is really good. The nut width is 34.86 millimeters, so it's a 35 millimeter nut. And the space between strings is 8.80 between each string at the first fret, which is a total of 29.04 at the first fret. So pretty standard spacing for a 35 millimeter nut that's coming from China. Now, the other aspect I like to look at is the depth of the neck. This is a C-shaped neck, and it is pretty deep, but the low action sort of counters that a little bit. So from the top of the strings to the bottom of the neck at the third fret, it's 20.75 millimeters, which is lower than usual for a imported Chinese ukulele because of the low action. Would I like to still see more of a D-shaped neck? Absolutely, but this is absolutely playable for me, and I play a lot of 35 millimeter nut ukuleles. If you are a person with large hands, this may not be the instrument for you, but for many players that are used to playing instruments like this, it's very, very playable. All right, and now that we've gone over the specifications, let me summarize your instrument and give it a UkeGuide rating. And again, for full disclosure, this instrument was sent to me for review purposes, but no other payment was made for this review, or the 1-minute ukulele review for that matter. This instrument is a great starter instrument. The list price is $59.99. You probably get it less than that. And it comes with a kit that has the functional things that you need, such as the Lekato tuner, as well as the Lekato gig bag. Those two things alone are worth the purchase with this instrument at that price point. It's really all that you need. I also like the different headstock here. I like the fact that it comes with strap buttons. I like the fact that the rosette isn't outlandish, and I really do like these titanium strings that come on it. I'm usually not a fan of titanium. I know I've said that elsewhere in this video, but just in case you skipped ahead to the summary. So there's a lot to like here. The build is good, the laminate is a good quality, and the sound is really good. It's really good to my ear. It's on the brighter edge of a laminate. It seems balanced, although when I worked with Tonal Energy Tuner, it did show sort of that low end frequency that's so common to laminates, but I do like the tone of this instrument a lot. Now, there's only a couple negatives here. One is that the fretboard is very dry, and we also have sharp fret ends. And in looking at it a little closer, it is a bound fretboard, but the frets actually extend into that binding. So I think that could be remedied by sort of cutting the fretboard in a different way. I am sure that the fretboard with the binding goes on the cutter, and the cutter goes through, and then the frets are put on. I'm pretty sure that's how that goes. Well, the cutter, especially if it's a CNC, could cut more narrow, not cut into the binding, and the frets could be more narrow and not go into the binding. And then you'd be all set all the way up without any sharp fret ends at any time. But for right now, There are lots of sharp fret ends that I'm going to deal with, and I'll make another video showing how I deal with that on a less expensive ukulele. So is that a deal breaker? By no means, but it is the one true flaw of the instrument. Otherwise, this is a fantastic buy for the current price, which at the moment is $47.99 or something like that. But even at the list price of $59.99, this is a really good starter instrument. You'd be hard pressed to find a better value for that kind of money for an instrument like this. So what rating would I give it? This one is going to get a 4.5 for me. And the 0.5 is lost just for two things. First of all is the sharp fret ends, which is a result of the frets extending into the fretboard binding. And the other is for the odd pieces that are a part of the kit that just don't need to be there or need to be changed. And again, the other aspect of that was, even though it comes with strap buttons, the strap that comes with it is a clip strap. So it really should come with a strap, sort of like my UkeStuff straps. I don't sell these separately, I just had these made. But, you know, for strap buttons rather than one that clips in the sound hole. And again, I'd also make the suggestion that they include more of the titanium strings, not these sort of Nile gut strings. And of course, no manufacturer should be including plastic picks with their ukulele. That all said, 4.5 is a really strong score. Absolutely, I would recommend this instrument for a beginner or somebody looking for an instrument that they can haul anywhere and not worry too much about. It's a great option at a really good price. So I do want to thank Lekato again for sending me this unit, and I'd like to thank you for watching the video. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll be back soon with some more Uke stuff for you.